What up, world? Welcome to another episode of I Believe Sports. As you know, I am the host, Brandon and like always on all podcast platforms everywhere, BrandonJaneauShow. Social media platforms, Instagram, BrandonJaneau, Facebook, the BrandonJaneauShow, and of course, TikTok, BrandonJaneauShow, and X, formerly known as Twitter, BJaneau. Follow me on all those social media platforms. I would appreciate it if you did. Yeah, yeah. Really, where you go is the YouTube channel, man. Brandon Janeau Show YouTube channel. Subscribe, comment, like the vids, like the shorts. Do it all. It helps in the algorithm. If you do, for people that like sports just like me and you, let's get into it because tonight, you already know, it's Tuesday, so you already know. It's I Bleed Sports. Football is the topic of this show, pretty much, basically. I mean, basically, football is basically the topic of this goddamn show. So I'll be talking about that all throughout. Of course, I'll be talking about the college football playoffs. Last game next Monday, Indiana, Miami. I talk about those two games that they played against Indiana smashing of Oregon and Miami showing everybody what they're made of against Ole Miss. And I talk about the game itself, who I think will actually walk away as the victor in that game. Excuse me. Of course, eyes on football, NFL playoffs. Uh, got 4 games. I already know. I got the levels of warning for the NFL, and I also will be talking about some of the coaching situations that are officially here. Talk about Mike Tomlin officially stepping down, and Baltimore officially firing John Harbaugh, which I didn't get a chance to talk about last week, which is crazy because I did it on a Monday. So they fired John Harbaugh on a Wednesday. So yeah, so John Harbaugh and Mike Tomlin are both gone. So is Mike McDaniels, which I don't think I also talked about last week either, because I think he got fired also late last week too. So I'll be talking about all of that um, as well. And I have a new segment kicking off this episode of I Believe Sports. So let's get into it. So I got a new segment that I want to do today, and it's something that I feel like a lot of people are going to choose not to want to hear. But this feels, and I literally named it truths that people need to hear. It's the truth, man. And I think you need to hear it. And I think we're getting to the point now where we can kind of start to like be like, okay, these are truths I think people need to hear. Here's the first truth that I feel like a lot of people need to hear, and I'm gonna take a trip to the NBA. And that is this. By the end of their careers, when their careers are all said and done, Steph Curry will surpass LeBron James in the GOAT conversation. I said that shit. Steph Curry will surpass LeBron James in the GOAT conversation. To a lot of people, they would think I'm crazy as shit. I already know the LeBron fans about to jump out the window. You don't know shit. You don't know basketball. You don't know shit. You don't know basketball. Listen, listen. Get this shit out your mouth for a second and listen. Get, get, get it out your mouth for a second and listen. When we look back at these two men's careers, as great as LeBron James' career has been, I have said this repeatedly on my show. LeBron's career is the one that's going to get looked at the most when it's all said and done. And when we look at his peer, even though people say it's Kevin Durant, it's not. It's Steph Curry. Steph Curry is LeBron's peer. That's who the fuck it is. The only reason why y'all say it's Kevin Durant because they play the same fucking position. That's pretty much it. But his peer is really Steph Curry. That's the person he's always had to chase. That's the person he's always had to be in the same conversation with. And when it's all said and done, Steph Curry is going to surpass LeBron James. And it's not because of stats and numbers. I think a lot of people get that shit twisted. Oh, it's because of stats and numbers. Nope. It's not because of stats and numbers. That is the LeBron argument. right? The LeBron argument is look at all the stats, look at all his records he's broken, look at all the things he's done. When you've played for damn near 23 fucking years, I think you should be able to break a fucking stat or two. It's kind of how this goes, especially if you have been at the peak of your performance for 23 fucking years. You need to, you gotta have broke some fucking records. But when we look at these two men's careers when it's all said and done, Steph Curry will surpass LeBron James. And I'm going to tell you why I say he's going to surpass him. It's not stats and numbers, it's the game. Who truly evolved the NBA? Who made the NBA more watchable? Who truly, when they were at their peak, was the quintessential reason for why we watch the NBA? I truly believe when it's all said and done, we're going to look at how this is. And again, this goes also to the players that have also become very well known because of these two. You got to realize people were drafting players like Ben Simmons, like Zion Williamson, who now look like Ben Simmons, who you can basically say was a bust. In Zion Williamson, you had people that was drafting guys like what's his fucking name? Anthony Bennett and guys like that because the upside was he could probably maybe one day hopefully truly believe it, pray to God himself to literally try to turn into LeBron James. And most of them failed. Look at all the players that they have said can become Steph Curry. Now, as much as you want to shit on him, Trae Young is the closest thing to a Steph Curry in NBA history. He's the closest thing. And even in that sense, Trae Young got the Atlanta Hawks to an Eastern Conference Finals before. I know he got traded just recently, but the success rate of how the game has changed with Steph Curry is very well known. LeBron is great, but there's been times where LeBron is a unique NBA player. He's unique. There's not too many that you can find like a LeBron James. 6'8", 250, 260, can damn near run the size of a fucking football player, linebacker, wide receiver. LeBron is unique. That shit just doesn't happen. Somebody that could play defense and play offense, be a playmaker and a fucking scorer, be your best perimeter defender and your best post defender. This shit don't happen. That shit is unique, bro. This shit is unique, my guy. That shit don't happen, my guy. But even in that sense, Steph Curry has changed the game way more than LeBron is. The way you have to defend Steph Curry, the way you have to defend the 3-point line. I've seen teams that shot threes when I was a kid. Reggie Miller. Ray Allen was a great shooter in Milwaukee, in Seattle. You had the Phoenix Suns with the 7 seconds or less, offense. I've seen teams shoot threes my entire life. The Sacramento Kings back in the 2000s. People forget how good that fucking team was. Doug Christie and Peja Stojakovic and Mike Bibby with the ball handling. Like people forget how good that fucking team was. Steph Curry is the first player to actually win a championship with that offense being the offense. That's why it was such it was so shocking to see a team like Golden State win a championship because it was like no team has ever had a player be their best player, be 6 foot under 6 foot guard and shooting fucking 30-foot 3-point shots. That shit don't work. It doesn't work. That's like trying to tell a person in the 80s or in the 80s, hey man, if Isaiah Thomas was to shoot a 3 right now and kept shooting them bitches at a clip, he might end up with 50% from the field for three. Nigga look at you like you fucking crazy. Nigga, is you stupid? That is why I sit here and say, when you look at this situation, I'm telling you, there's going to be a conversation about these two, and especially with the way LeBron's career is kind of ending. And again, it's not because of the stats and it's not because of the numbers. It's going to be his own doing. It's going to be how he has perceived himself. Steph has just played his way, and again, also on top of this is again, I gotta say it because it's the truth. That loyalty shit is going to get called into question. It is going to get called into question. LeBron left too many teams and basically said, fuck you, I'm out when shit got hard. Steph Curry has been a Golden State Warrior since the very day they drafted him. You don't think Steph Curry is looking at the Golden State Warriors and saying, bro, we need to get younger, not older. You don't think he's sitting there saying, I don't know what the fuck was wrong with Jonathan Kuminga, but bro, figure that shit out, please. You don't think Steph Curry wants a young team? Of course he fucking does. You think he wants Jimmy Butler and fucking Draymond Green on his fucking team? And I fuck with Jimmy Butler, don't get it twisted. But Draymond Green? You think he want that shit? You believe that he want that shit? All right, nigga, all right, nigga. I guess I fucking guess, nigga. And then it's also gonna be the head-to-head matchups. And as much as people want to sit here, and somebody said this in the comments because I was watching a video, and some dude, of course, one of these LeBron fans, you know, y'all see anybody talk about y'all king, you jump the fuck out the window without a parachute or without any goddamn help at all. Just jump out the fucking window. I saw somebody say, yo, the league has changed since LeBron has been the guy, the face of the league. And it's facts, bro. I've said this numerous times. The fucking All-Star game used to be the All-Star weekend you used to care about, bro. I used to be a kid. And on a Saturday night, you used to sit in your fucking living room from the motherfucking start to finish of Saturday night weekend. That whole All-Star weekend, you used to watch it. That whole weekend. I Saturday night from the what? The Rising Stars challenge, the skills challenge, all that shit. Friday was never a good. I never liked the rookie sophomore game, but depends because they had some years where there were really good rookies and really good sophomores, and you know. But then you had this situation where All-Star Weekend just turned into like not a thing. It just turned into not a thing. There used to be a lot of players that used to go to All-Star Weekends. You don't see players at All-Star Weekends anymore because it's not a thing. Because LeBron James has changed the fucking game. And again, it's not because y'all sitting here trying to make it seem like it's a positive. You can't always accept the positive and then just deny the negative. Everything LeBron has done in the game is great, but what he's also done is also fucked the NBA up. They have fucked it up. This is why I say when people always say this stupid ass analogy of this dumbass analogy of people sitting there and always saying like some goofy ass shit like who can replace the LeBron and Steph and all these other guys? Easily. But y'all don't want to do press on them like a LeBron, like a Steph. Steph again, like I always say, Steph did not come out of nowhere though. Like Steph was this dude in Davidson. Like Steph was killing the game in Davidson, bro. But when you look back at this, people are going to try to tell you stats and fucking numbers and records. When in reality, we saw this shit. Reality is Steph Curry actually revolutionized the basketball, the NBA. He actually revolutionized it. This is one of the truths. Steph Curry has actually made the game of basketball more impactful, especially in his peak. That 2014, 15, 16 years when the Warriors was this fucking dominant franchise, the ratings of the NBA had never been higher. Think about it for a second. The ratings of the NBA had never been higher. Even during football seasons, there was a time where you put the NBA on Saturday night and the shit would actually make you want to watch it. There were times where you didn't want to leave your house because you wanted to see the Warriors versus OKC, the Warriors versus the Rockets, the Warriors versus the Lakers. There were times where you wanted to see that shit because Steph Curry was going to be on a TV set. And you knew if you missed that game, 9 out of 10, you was going to see a clip and you was like, fuck, I should have saw that shit live. It like on my couch. I should have saw that shit. It's never been like that with LeBron. It's never been like that. The impact of LeBron and Steph Curry is going to get called into question. And I'm telling y'all now, when it's all said and done, Steph Curry is going to surpass LeBron James. They got the same amount of rings, but the difference is Steph actually did it with one team. Various different players, but still with the Golden State Warriors. And by the way, one coach. One coach. Steph has won all of his rings with Steve Kerr. You don't blame Kobe and Michael Jordan for fucking having just Phil Jackson because that's just facts. Like they just had him. But like that is, I'm telling y'all now, man. This is gonna cost LeBron when it's all said and done. And I'm seeing it now. I'm seeing a lot of people now starting to actually say, like, hey, I think Steph might be better than LeBron. I've been saying that shit for years. I think Steph has actually done more for the NBA than LeBron ever has. I think Steph Curry has done more for the NBA than LeBron ever has. Look, Steph Curry actually made a company presentable. Steph Curry, when he first signed to Under Armour, and he said he's bringing out tennis shoes, people was like, Under Armour? What the fuck are you talking about? Bro, in 2 years when he became the MVP, the unanimous MVP, bro, that fucking Under Armour like the Under Armour shoes and shit, bro, sold the fuck out. Like people was wearing Curry's to fucking. I ain't never seen nobody wear LeBron's like that. When he was at the peak, bro, he was untouchable. This is why I say all the time when people sit there and try to tell me some crazy shit, like, bro, no, bro, like Steph Curry's peak was way better than LeBron's, and I think Steph Curry, when it's all said and done, especially if they finish with the same amount of rings, we gonna have a different conversation about Steph or LeBron, and it's gonna be like, well, Steph actually dominated that time period way more than LeBron did. Yeah, LeBron got to a lot of finals, but in that span of the 10 years that he was in the Eastern Conference, got to the finals, he won what 3 rings, and he played Steph in two of those, in most of those finals, and ended up losing to most of them. And I know people are gonna sit and say, you cannot tell me Steph Curry's better than LeBron because he had Kevin Durant. That's funny because y'all the same motherfuckers that tell me that Steph Curry's first ring that he won over LeBron wouldn't have happened if he had Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love. So what the fuck is it? You can't move the goalposts because I'm telling you the facts. You can't move the goalposts, nigga. You can't do it. I'm not one of these niggas. Go find somebody else on YouTube or social media that will give you that goofy ass bullshit. I'm telling you the truth, nigga. You can't tell me, well, if Steph Curry had Kevin Durant. It ain't like nigga Steph Curry went to Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant came to him. He wanted to team up with him. Y'all the same motherfuckers that sit there and tell you that the 2015 finals, if LeBron James had Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving, Steph Curry would have never won that first ring. Y'all the same motherfuckers that tell me that shit. Because look at the next year when he did have all those guys. Look what happened. But y'all leave out the fact that they also had to trade mid-season and get Amon Shepard and J.R. Smith. But you leave that shit completely the fuck out. Y'all are the same fucking people, bro. And this is the funniest part when it comes to this shit. Y'all are the same fucking people. It's the funniest part. It's like first it's like, oh, LeBron dominated, but then when we bring up his record in the NBA Finals, it's it's a team game. No. Which one is it? Because he's lost all those finals. That's facts. I don't give a fuck if it's a team game or not, nigga. He's lost those finals. He lost those finals. And that's facts. And Steph has a better record than him in the NBA Finals on top of that. So that's even crazier. But when it's all said and done, truths that people need to hear is that when it's all said and done, Steph Curry will surpass LeBron James in the GOAT conversation. I know, but again, it's not about it's not about stats and records, nigga. It's about facts and truths. And the truth is, when they have win 1-on-1, Steph Curry's bust his ass. And when Steph Curry and Steph Curry's peak compared to LeBron's peak, Steph Curry's peak was way more impactful to the NBA's growth and prosperity than LeBron James' peak ever was. Keep it with this tradition. I got another one. Just in case I just need to keep it on. And it will go into the football. It will go into football for me. This is negative. We're going into the positive after this. And this is a truth that I feel like a lot of people need to start having this real conversation about too. And that is this. Justin Herbert will never, never be in the best quarterback conversation. I know. I feel it now. You don't know that for sure. Justin Herbert will never be in the best quarterback conversation. Justin Herbert will always be. I say this about Josh Allen a lot. Josh Allen is the fourth best quarterback in the AFC. I say that all the time. Now, people might not like that. I know a lot of people that don't. But I feel like Justin Herbert will never truly be in the best quarterback conversation ever. Excuse me. I think we're starting to have this miscommunication on why a lot of people have said this about Justin Herbert. I remember when the NFL put out a top 10 quarterbacks of this upcoming season list. And they had Justin Herbert in front of like Baker Mayfield, I think Jared Goff, Jalen Hurts. He's in front of a couple people that I was like, I don't know about that. Jordan Love, I think he was in front of Jordan Love. He was in front of a couple people, man. Couple fuck people, man. Like you start to look at that nigga like, man, I don't know how the fuck he ended up in front of him. Justin Herbert isn't like Drew Brees. Drew Brees is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Drew Brees is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Definitely one of the greatest Saints quarterbacks of all time. Drew Brees is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. I don't see Justin Herbert having that type of career. I just don't see it. I don't see Justin Herbert having that type of career. I think Justin Herbert, one thing Justin Herbert is definitely established this year, the last couple of years, right? One thing he's established in the last year, the last couple of years, is that he's the second best quarterback in that draft class, only behind Joe Burrow. That's the only person. He's better than Tua. I give you that. But I feel like Justin Herbert, and now the question is starting to come up again, right? Because he played in the playoffs, and this is the one thing I truly believe in my heart of hearts, right? Losing to Rashad Slater, who is a Pro Bowl caliber, All Pro offensive lineman, losing to Joe Alt, who is also a Pro Bowl, All Pro offensive lineman. Yes, that is a demoralizing thing. But I also, and again, I have this thing about quarterbacks and people that always sit here and say he needs to be like a Patrick Mahomes. No. Can you give me Joe Burrow? See, people forget this. When Joe Burrow went to the Super Bowl, that year he went to the Super Bowl, this man had to go on the road to Tennessee with that offensive line. He got sacked 9 times in the fucking playoffs. on the road when Tennessee still had A.J. Brown and Derrick Henry and Mike Vrabel as a head coach. He got sacked 9 times in a playoff game. And somehow, some way, he found a way to win that game. The following week, he goes to Kansas City, beats Patrick Mahomes, and he goes to the Super Bowl in his second year of the league. So when I hear people try to talk down on Joe Burrow, I'll be like, I don't know how the fuck you're doing it because it don't make sense to do it. But I get it. Justin Herbert is running out of these excuses that y'all are trying to make. The first year he got to the playoffs, it was the head coach, Brandon Staley, who's now my Saints defensive coordinator, and I'm pretty shocked and pretty damn happy that he is my Saints defensive coordinator because he coached his ass off this year. But Brandon Staley was not ready to be a head coach. And it showed in that game against Jacksonville. He just wasn't ready. He wasn't ready. The defense gave up too many goddamn points. And then on top of that, your defense forced 4 turnovers in that game, which resulted in 28 points, I think. 4 turnovers, your defense forced 4 turnovers, and somehow, some way, you still lost that game. Now, granted, like I said, I've done it, everybody's done it. We all blame Brandon Staley for that first game. Totally respectable, understandable, 100. Last year, when he played against the Texans, by the way, went in, I think, as the favorite in that game because the Texans offensive line, just like it is now, like I always say about the Texans offensive line, they got 5 guys with just names on the back of the jersey. You don't know a motherfucking soul who plays on the offensive line of the Texans. Went in after C.J. Stroud, by the way, also I think was like concussed or something, like something happened to C.J. Stroud. But that game was supposed to be all Chargers. Justin Herbert had his best season statistically, all that shit. It was Jim Harbaugh. Everything was going Chargers' way, right? You had the offensive line, but then what did you hear when the game ended? Oh man, he ain't got no receivers. He ain't got no running game. The man threw 4 picks in that game. 4 picks in that game. And he was the favorite. And then this past Sunday, he plays against the Patriots on the road in New England. And he barely scores a touchdown. And now I hear, well, it's his offensive line. First, coach. Second, no receivers, no running backs. Third, now no offensive line. What I see is a pattern. What I see is every game he's played now in the playoffs, he's gotten worse. The first year, he was excited. He did his job. Even though his defense did give him 4 fucking turnovers, so it wasn't really that fucking hard to do your job. But I digress. He did his job. Second half was a completely different game. Completely different game. Now you can blame, like I say, blame Brandon Staley for that shit. That was a bad game. But last year, now he has no receivers. Now he has no running game. When all of last year, he had the best statistical season. And then he threw more picks in a playoff game than he threw his entire season last year in one playoff game. And now this year is he has no offensive line. He still don't have no receivers. He don't have a running game. Justin Herbert got sacked 5 times. 5. Do you want to know how many times Drake May got sacked in that game? Do you want to know how many times Drake May got sacked in that same fucking game? Do you want to know? 5 times. So the opposing quarterback on the opposite side of the field got sacked just as many times as you did. Ain't like Drake May was setting the fucking world on fire either. I think he had like 2 turnovers by himself. But yet, what's the argument? Oh, Justin Herbert ain't got nobody. Oh, Justin Herbert ain't got nobody. There is a real conversation that we need to have. A real, truthful conversation that we need to have. And I love the fact that this is happening now. At some point, we need we need to have an honest conversation about talent versus production. Justin Herbert talent is great. Yeah, he looks great. He has an arm, he can run, he can do all this shit. Yeah, whoopsie fucking do. At some point, I don't give a fuck about your talent. See, that talent shit works for like 2, 3 years. I give you 2, 3 years of he's talented. I give you 2, 3 years of he's talented. And at some point, after those 2, 3 years, when we starting to have conversations about you getting a contract extension, maybe getting more money, big fucking bucks, we're now having a different conversation. Because now your talent has superseded past, oh, he's just talented. Now we feel that he can actually be more than just he's talented. We think he can take us to the promised land. That's what the fuck you're paying him for. You're not paying him because, oh, his talent looks good. We know he's talented. Can you win when it matters most? And Justin Herbert has shown us time and time again. It's not that he doesn't even win when it matters most. He don't even show the fuck up. If he, like I said, if he was having okay playoff games, okay, then this is a different conversation. If he's actually showing us fifth, an ounce of like production where it's not his fault. And you can see it's not his fault. Okay, then. But that's not what the fuck this argument is. This argument is very simple. He's gotten worse as the season has progressed. When he gets to the playoffs, he's had worse performances. So now you're sitting there telling me about a goddamn season, regular season, but he shits the bed when but he shits the bed, but he shits the bed in the postseason. He's gotten worse as the season has progressed. He gets worse in the playoffs. From the first to the second, now the third game. The fact that you even started your first drive in the 10-yard line of your own red zone and you still couldn't score a touchdown. Justin Herbert will never be in the conversation of the best quarterback in the NFL. He will never be it. We go ahead and put that shit to bed. He is a name that has a lot of talent. But when it matters the most, he will not perform. We can now officially put this shit to bed. And there's also something about the Chargers last week that I felt very strongly about. The Chargers should have never set them down because you thought going into fucking New England on a cold fucking day was going to be good for you. A cold Sunday night game. You thought that was a good idea being from the West Coast? You get what you deserve. You get what you deserve. College football. College football, man. Miami. Miami. That game was up and fucking down. But like I told my brother Juan, Friday, there was a game where Miami should have won that game, and it shouldn't have been that close. It shouldn't have. It shouldn't have been that close. It shouldn't have been that close. If you looked at the first half of that game, they dropped tons, tons, tons of interceptions. Ole Miss in the second half did better, but that first half, if you watch that game, you could tell Ole Miss couldn't hang with them. They couldn't hang with them. Ole Miss could not hang with Miami. They couldn't hang with them. Miami should have won that game way more than what they won it by. Ole Miss in the second half definitely had a better game. I would definitely easily tell you that. But that game, man, that game was very crazy. I said this last week and people thought I was crazy. And I said it literally last week. Carson Beck is going to play his way into the top three of the quarterback conversation. He's going to play his way. Especially after what happened in the Indiana Oregon game. Now there is a conversation to be had. More so about Dante Moore. If he's going to come out, then yeah, maybe you still take a chance on him at 2. But if Carson Beck, and I said this last week, if Carson Beck wins the national championship, there's a real conversation now about which quarterback is going where. And if the Miami Hurricanes are going to, you know, if the Miami Hurricanes, if Carson Beck wins a championship for the Miami Hurricanes, he might be the second quarterback off the board, man. Now, I don't know if he still goes first round, but he would definitely be the second quarterback off the board, especially if they beat Indiana, who's been literally rolling through people. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Indiana. I'm not surprised. I literally said Friday before the game started that Indiana had to play damn near perfect football. I'm not surprised. I mean, not Indiana, Oregon. Oregon had to play damn near perfect football. I'm not surprised. As soon as I saw the first pick, I said, "Oh yeah, this is gonna be an ass whooping." that was that was the first. It was the first play. It was just like, oh my god, they're gonna fucking run these dudes off the field. Like you just sat there and was like, oh my god, they're gonna run these dudes off the fucking field. And that's basically what happened, bro. It's basically what happened. Indiana has been the best team in college football all fucking year. Anybody that doesn't understand that now are seeing them and watching them and saying to themselves, wow, Indiana's really fucking good. If I hear another motherfucking person tell me, wow, Indiana's really fucking good, what the fuck y'all been all season? like, you thought these niggas was just undefeated because they was just undefeated? No, Indiana's been good all fucking year. Like, who the fuck up? I have literally said this. Indiana, if Indiana had, Fernando Mendoza last year, they probably made it to the national championship game last year. They probably made it to the national championship game last year. Indiana is doing exactly what I thought they would do. Dominate. Alabama should have never been in the playoffs. And Oregon didn't change shit from the first time they played them. And it's not like and here's the thing, if they played in Indiana, That game you saw Friday night, what happened in Indiana? They would have beat that ass. They were lucky that they played them in Oregon. They were lucky they played them in Eugene the first time they played them. Because they played them in fucking Indiana. Oh my god, it would have been a motherfucking. Oh my god, man, it would have been a mugging. It would have been what you saw Friday would have been a mugging, a absolute fucking mugging. Oh good God Almighty, it would have been a fucking mugging, dude. Oh my god, it would have been a mugging. Oh good God Almighty. What you saw Friday would have happened in the regular season. We've been like, yeah, I don't think they're gonna win this shit. you you would have saw that. You just be like, yeah, I don't think they're gonna win this shit. Oh Lord of mercy. Yeah, Oregon getting destroyed by Indiana. I wasn't surprised. I wasn't surprised at all. I'm be honest. I wasn't surprised at all. Not even close. Was surprised at all, man. Was surprised at all. But this Monday, January 19th to be exact, it is Indiana Hoosiers football. Yeah, football. Foosball, as the water boy mom would say. Foosball? Yeah, foosball. The Indiana Hoosiers foosball team is playing for a national championship. Yeah, let that shit sink in. And they're playing against the Miami Hurricanes. Let that shit sink in. Let that shit sink in. Holy shit. You know what's funny is that Miami's going to be playing for a national championship before they ever play for an ACC title. Miami Hurricanes are playing for a national championship before they ever touch the field for ACC title. The conference they are representing, they have never even played for an ACC championship. Fucking conferences are jokes. Jokes. Anyway, this is the game. Number one in the country, Indiana, undefeated, busting everybody's ass and taking names. And the Miami Hurricanes, who didn't even fucking play for an ACC title, their own conference. They didn't play for a title. But they were the 10th seed, and here we are. Here we are. The question becomes, who do I have? Now, funny part is, in the last 2 years, I think I picked both of these teams to get to a national championship. So it's not that surprising. I said this once and I'll say it again. If Cam Ward had this defense last year, that Miami would have won to a national championship last year and they would have won it. And this would be a back-to-back situation. But it is what it is. Cam Ward did not have this defense last year, but Carson Beck does. Who do I think is going to win this game? I think it's going to be way closer than people think. I think because I think people have seen Alabama, who should have never been in a goddamn tournament to begin with, in Oregon, who already played Indiana, and Indiana knew what they were going to pretty much do. And by the way, Dan Lanning, the Oregon head coach, hey, bro, you starting to fall into that same trap that I'm starting to. What I say about Lane Kiffin, Ryan Day, James Franklin. You're starting to fall into that same fucking pattern, which is you can build it, you just can't win with it. He can build it. Oregon is great in the regular season, and then when they get to the postseason, they get their ass whooped. It's starting to get to that point now. Last year, and I said the same shit about them last week when I did the show with my brother Juan. I said I saw this story last year with Oregon. They played Ohio State in Eugene, lost the game very closely, and they lost that game against Ohio State. Then they played Ohio State again in the playoffs. Did they beat Ohio State? I can't remember who won. But I saw that game already, and I saw what Ohio, and I'm like, Ohio State's gonna absolutely destroy them. That's why I wasn't worried about Indiana and them because I'm like, Indiana beat you by 10 points. People act like Indiana barely escaped that game. Indiana beat your ass by 10 points, and it wasn't even close. Indiana was up for most of that game. Nothing changed with Indiana. Nothing changed with Indiana. And that's why I'll sit there and say all the time, like, this is why I have a this is why I'm looking at the situation and saying to myself, man, Indiana versus Miami. It's gonna be a game, man. It's gonna be a good game. And I think my brother Juan told me about how I think my brother Juan told me about how Vegas was giving Indiana all these points. I'm like, they're doing it by circumstance. They're doing it off of what they saw in the Alabama game and the Oregon game. But if you actually watch Miami, Miami has heart, bro. Miami has heart. Like you could think they're gonna get their ass beat by 20, 30. But one thing we've seen in this playoffs, particularly, excuse me, one thing we've seen in this playoffs, particularly about Miami, is never count them out. They're always going to be in the game. They're always going to fight. They're always going to try. And that is why I think this game is going to be too damn close to call. Because even though Indiana can easily come out and just punch them in the mouth, Miami's going to be with them every step of the way. And I think Indiana has not played a defense like Miami. And I think that might be the problem for Indiana. Indiana has not played a defense like Miami. And I keep telling people this Miami defense is fucking for real, bro. That is not a joking ass defense. That's a for real fucking defense. Just like Indiana. Don't get it twisted now. This is going to be a fucking dogfight. This is going to be a defensive fight. It's going to literally come down to the quarterback. Who do you trust more? Now, Carson Beck has the experience, but Fernando Mendoza is playing like he actually earned that Heisman Trophy. I literally have said Jeremiah Love should have won that Heisman. I don't give a fuck what nobody said. I still think Fernando Mendoza is great, but he just should never won that Heisman. This is the second straight year now where these mother just gave it to a quarterback just because it's a quarterback. Like, bro, you can't keep doing that. But Fernando Mendoza has shown up and he just said, "Oh, y'all don't think I deserve this shit? Okay, let me show you." And I gotta give him his credit. He is doing what I didn't think he would do. He is doing it. This game is gonna be too close to call. I know people think it's gonna be a fucking Indiana blowout. My thing is this: as long as Carson Beck doesn't do what he did in that Ole Miss game, because there was a bunch of times where just in the play calling of Miami was very detrimental, especially early in that game, because it felt like you just were trying too fucking hard. If you are running the ball on Indiana and it's successful, continuously run the ball until they prove that you can stop it, which means they put extra people in the box, which means your receivers now have one-on-one matchups. Go get them. Same thing with Indiana. Miami's prone to giving up big plays. See, the one thing about having a good defense is that sometimes you might get literally overly done with that defense. You might get a little bit too buttoned up, which means you're accessible to big plays. And that's what Ole Miss hit them. Ole Miss hit them with a couple of big fucking plays, and it fucked Miami up, especially in that first half. It fucked Miami up. I don't know who's gonna win, and this is crazy to say, man. I have no idea who is going to win this game, and I think that's good. Man, if you ask me right now, because these are two teams I've been rooting for all year. If you ask me right now who wins this game, oh my god, man, shit, man, fuck, my heart is saying Miami. My heart is saying Miami. My head is saying Indiana. And when you do that, it's a shaky one. All I say is this, man. I don't give a fuck who wins this game as long as it's an actual good fucking game. I mean, an actual, real, hit you in the mouth. I want both of these teams to have a fucking dogfight. The one thing about the national championships the last couple of years is that it's been kind of been over before we can even get to halftime. I want this shit to be a legitimate fist fight. I want this shit to feel like if you fucking turn the ball over at the wrong time, the game's over. I want that feeling. I want to be like, yeah, damn, little fuck, shit. I want that. I want that. I want that feeling. I need that. I need that feeling. I need that feeling. If that is the game that we're going to get Monday, we are in for a fucking treat. I don't know who's going to win. I have no clue. I have no idea who's going to win. I'm not even about to sit here and pretend like I do. I have no clue. What I do know is this. These are two incredible fucking incredible quarterbacks, incredible teams. Well coached fucking teams. It's gonna be a good game, man. It's gonna be a good game. Oh yeah. Let's get into it. Now, coaches. John Harbaugh was let go by the Baltimore Ravens last week. Mike McDaniels as well from Miami. And now today, Mike Tomlin has officially stepped down as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Out of those three coaching jobs that got opened up over the last couple of days, Baltimore is the best one. Pittsburgh, I don't know who the fuck is going to be Pittsburgh's head coach. They might literally have to hire within, because that Pittsburgh job is not intriguing at all. The fact that and I think this is what's going to actually make people realize how great Mike Tomlin truly was. Because look at that fucking team. Outside of DK Metcalf, you have no receiver. Not a number two, not a 3 or a 4. I like the tight ends that you have. I like Juju Smith. I like Pat. I like Darnell Washington. I like the tight ends you have. That offensive line is not as bad as people think. I think people give that offensive line such a bad rep, but it's not a bad fucking offensive line. I just feel like they have the wrong scheme to really help that offensive line get to where they need to go. And then they have a terrible fucking scheme. I think Arthur Smith don't know what the fuck he's doing. That's just flat out, just truth and honesty. Well, now he's going too. So let's see. You have to now basically find a quarterback, because Aaron Rodgers is probably not coming back. And if he does come back, you're still going to have to find a quarterback at some point. And then you have the highest defense of salary in the NFL. And it's to the point now where it's like, bro, I love Cameron Hayward, but it's the same thing I've been saying about my Saints. Cam Jordan, DeMario Davis. It's like, bro, I respect y'all. I love y'all. This is not me telling y'all that y'all need to get the fuck out of here, but it's just like, bro, it's to the point now where I feel like it's just time to move on. And Cameron Hayward is one of those guys. If you want to continuously play, bro, you got to take a real massive pay cut. If you want to still be we're not going to let you go, but there is a conversation to be had that, hey, bro, you want to still play. This is your last year. And you're going to take a pay cut. TJ Watt, the same. Hey, bro, listen, we now know there are things you can do and there are things you can't do. We now know that. So now we're going to move off of what we know. And on top of that, you get injured too damn fast. You ain't your brother. When J.J. Watt was doing all of this shit, J.J. Watt had the body, the shape, the ability to do what he was doing. T.J. Watt is a smaller version of that. And you expect him to come out and do the same shit like his brother? No. Jalen Ramsey, thank you for your service, but you get the fuck out. You are not a corner anymore. And then they switched him to safety. I'm not particularly sure. But if he's not going to move to safety, then he needs to go find another team. If he still wants to play football. It's to the point now with the Steelers where that job sucks. It's not a good job, bro. Mike Tomlin made that team way more impactful and way more important than it actually really was. And I feel like a lot of people are going to sit here and lie and say, oh, anybody can coach the Steelers. Well, we're about to fucking see. The fact that I knew, everybody knew for a good stretch, that all four of these teams, all of us knew that in the AFC North, we all knew all four of these teams could fire a head coach. All of us knew this. Every single one of these teams could fire a head coach. Every single one of them. The fact that the Cincinnati Bengals is the fucking team that kept their head coach is mind-boggling to me. They had the worst coaching situation. They had the worst coaching situation. Zac Taylor has been gifted a situation where he just never. The Cincinnati Bengals kept Zac Taylor. The Browns, Steelers, and the Ravens are now looking for new head coaches. But the Cincinnati Bengals kept Zac Taylor. Tell me in what world that makes sense. Tell me in what world does that make sense? Everybody knew these motherfuckers could all get fired, but it's like, bruh, the Bengals, the Cincinnati Bengals is that shit is just wild now. I know they probably looking at that decision and being like, ooh, shit, we fucked up. like, ooh, shit, we fucked up. We we should be looking for a new head coach right now. And I'm gonna be honest, the Bengals job would be Ravens. It would be for me personally. It would be the Ravens, Bengals. If the Bengals had fired Zac Taylor, Ravens, Bengals, Giants, and Titans are up there. Like those two are the interesting ones because you got two franchise quarterbacks. Despite what people want to say, Jackson Dart is somewhat of a good quarterback, bro. Like y'all couldn't miss me with that shit. Does he still have his moments? Yeah, I will easily tell you that. Jackson Dart has his times and his moments, but here's the difference between a Jackson Dart and a Justin Herbert that I just talked about. The jury is still out on Jackson Dart. The jury is not out on Justin Herbert. They are back. They have deliberated and they have come up with the honest answer of, nah, this motherfucker just ain't it. Oh, it just ain't it, bro. Jackson Dart still has his moments. Yeah. Can he get fucked up? Yeah. Can he do some shit that don't make sense? Yeah. But at the end of the day, bro, Jackson Dart is what the Giants need now. Not saying he can't be that one day. He can. But yeah. That Steelers job is terrible. That's a bad fucking job. Like I said, I don't think the offensive line is bad, but I also feel like the quarterbacks that they have brought in for the last couple of years just have not fit them. They need kind of a Jackson Dart. They need a guy that understands that the pocket is going to collapse on him. So you might need to make some plays to get the fuck out the pocket. That Steelers job is terrible. That's not a good job. The Dolphins job is just as bad. The Cardinals, oh my God, the Cardinals job is just fucking terrible. You have four teams where I'm like, you got four teams I like, and then four teams I wouldn't even fucking try. I wouldn't even entertain the shit. There's like, how many jobs there is now open? How many jobs? You got shit. Titans, Giants. Now I gotta do this on my mate. Hold on. Titans, Giants, Falcons, Browns, Fuck, hold on. Falcons, Browns, Cardinals, Cardinals, Cardinals. I'm forgetting some teams. Lord of mercy. Dolphins, Ravens, Steelers. That's 8. Raiders, right? Raiders. Okay, okay. Titans, Giants, Falcons, Browns, Dolphins, Ravens, Steelers, Raiders. Shit, hold on. That's how many job openings is there. That's fucking crazy, bro. And we still don't know what's gonna happen with Buffalo. We I don't know if Nick Sirianni keeping that job in Philly. I mean, he probably will, but I don't know. I don't know. That's fucking crazy, bro. And then again, like I say, some of these teams might be like, you know what? This ain't it. This ain't it. I don't know if Sean McDermott keeping the job in Buffalo, bro. I don't know. Especially if he lose and he made Bo Nix look good, and he gonna get fired. Yeah, he gonna get fired. Yeah, I'm thinking. I'm looking at this perspective, bro. That's what 9 teams that already got. It's 9 teams, bro. 9 fucking teams. It might be 10. I can't remember one. It might be 10. But yeah, that's ridiculous. 9 teams looking for a fucking head coach, and it's still more to come, possibly. That's crazy. So I get to my eyes on football and levels of warning. I want to just say this. Uh, the woman that uh, spoke to the Jacksonville Jaguars head coach, Liam Cohen, after their loss. I wish that more people would do that more. Man, when I turned on TikTok and I saw that video for the first time, I damn near got emotional. I'm not even gonna lie, bro. I damn near got emotional because I was like, man, some of us just need that shit. Like this man got a million things going through his head right now, and then he got to sit and do press and have people try to criticize him basically and say, why you didn't do this more? Why you didn't do this? Why you saw Trevor Lawrence struggling here and there? Why you didn't run the ball with Travis Etienne? I know he couldn't run really, but why didn't you not do dunk passes? And it's like, bruh, this man got a million fucking things going on in his head. And that woman, words, you could tell, even if he couldn't, evoke the emotion that he probably wanted to, but I'm pretty goddamn sure his face, his emotion, and all of us, when we saw that vid, man, all of us was like, man, I needed that shit. I needed that shit. You know what I mean? Like, I know he did. Lincoln, yeah, he definitely needed it, but I needed that shit. Lord have mercy. I needed that. I know she was talking to him, but it felt like she was talking to all of us that has been going through some shit these last couple of years. And that is the thing, man. That woman said that to that man. I said, oh, man, look here, bro. I said, look here, man. So am I surprised that people have been people? No, I'm not fucking surprised. I'm not surprised by shit nowadays. I'm not surprised at all, bro. Because you got people that aren't real journalists, got time to tell somebody who's a journalist and who's not. Like, nigga, like y'all are journalists nowadays. Most of you motherfuckers ain't been journalists in ever, nigga. Like you nigga, you all have negative reinforcement every time you step out with an opinion. It's negative. It never comes off as even me. I can honestly tell you, even me. I do this podcast, and I'm not gonna sit up here and pretend like I haven't just talked down on Justin Herbert and LeBron James all day. I do that shit. I'm not gonna sit up here and pretend like I don't. But sometimes it is nice to just be like, you know what, bro? I gotta give people their flowers too. And I feel like that's the thing about that, man. What that woman did for Lynn Cohen, he gonna remember that shit way more than all you motherfuckers sitting there trying to shit on him. Or even her. He gonna remember them words more than anything on this planet. And guess what's gonna happen next year when the season start up? Guess what he gonna do? He gonna look for that woman particularly, and he gonna give her all the exclusives. He gonna tell her how he feels about certain things. He gonna be more honest with her than anybody else in the motherfucking press. You know why? Because she actually told him something he probably needed that motherfucking day. And at the end of the day, a lot of you niggas nowadays get fucking emotional over fucking nothing. And I say this all the time. Most of y'all that are getting mad at this woman for doing what she did, most of you motherfuckers are mad because you can't do that. You can't be objective. You can't have that opinion. You can't sit there and tell that man, yo, he did have a great season. Like, nobody expected the Jaguars to, one, make the playoffs, and two, win the fucking division and host a playoff game. Nobody thought that. And then on top of that, it's not that you just did all that. You were the third seed in the AFC and had a chance to get the number one seed in a bye. Nobody expected that from Jacksonville this year. No one. So the fact that that woman saw that this whole year, and she had the nerve and the nerve to cut through the bullshit and tell that man the fucking truth, which is, hey man, keep your fucking head up. Keep your motherfucking head up. What y'all did this year, nobody saw coming. And then on top of that, the craziest thing about that, you lost Travis Hunter, who everybody thought was going to be rookie of the year. You lost him like 3 weeks into the season. And they still found a way to win these games. A generational talent was just gone. And they still ended up 13-4. And had a chance to win the game. Had a chance to win the game and didn't throw a pick. They had a chance to win the game. Don't get mad because y'all can't be unbiased anymore. Don't get mad at her because she actually felt authentic. She felt actually real. That was real. That was real. What she told that man, that shit was real. He needed that. We all did. In this world we live in nowadays, we all needed that. Don't get mad because she got a chance to do something that y'all completely have forgotten at the end of the day. And at some point, y'all have now made y'all jobs, y'all lives. And at the end of the day, bro, it's still about respecting the game. And what those dudes did, Jacksonville Jaguars this season, they did. Now I'll talk about them in a minute. Don't get that twisted. I will talk about them. See, I gotta go back to negative. See that shit? But for what that woman did for Lynn Cohen, and I don't want to say her name and fuck it up. But what that woman did for Lynn Cohen, thank you on behalf of the people that have watched that video and every time gets a smile and get emotion because we all needed that. We all needed that. We all needed to be told from an outside source to keep our heads up. That you had a great year. I know you got a lot going on, but y'all should be proud of what y'all did. And sometimes you just need that, man, because sometimes you don't even get that same record. You don't get that same respect and love for the people you fuck with. You don't even get that type of love and respect for the people you fuck with. You heard me? So, hey, thank you. Thank you. I was on football. NFL playoff, man. Skeptical game of the week. Most interesting game of the week. upset game of the week, and of course the game of the week. Let's get into it. God damn it! Skeptical game of the week. Ravens. I said Ravens. Lord have mercy. Rams versus Bears. That is my skeptical game of the week. Rams barely survived. Keeping their head above water. Like them motherfuckers. Fucking, you can hit a good time song with them motherfuckers. Lord have mercy. Fucking, them motherfuckers barely survived. Holy shit. Oh my God. Ooh. Incredible throw by Matthew Stafford and an incredible goddamn catch by the tight end. That was a good goddamn catch. That was a hell of a throw and a great catch. Anyway, they barely beat the Panthers. Now I picked the Panthers last week to beat the Rams. I actually picked the Panthers to beat the Rams. I knew that could happen, but they won. I don't know what you want. I get. They won. I mean, you won. Rams are going against the Chicago Bears. Who? Boy, these motherfuckers here, bro. They are the most luckiest fucking team I've ever seen in my life. They are more lucky than the Jacksonville Jaguars team with Trevor Lawrence in his second year. They are lucky. Like these motherfuckers are lucky. And they played the right damn team to come back against. The Chicago Bears came back from what, 20 something down, 21 down, 20, 25 down, some shit like that. It was a crazy margin that they had to come back from. But they came back again against the Green Bay Packers and beat them again in Chicago. Now we have this as the NFC divisional game. I think this is the first game on. No, it's the last game on a Sunday, which I don't want to see this shit on a Sunday. But anyway, I don't know I don't know why they made this the last game on a Sunday, but I guess. Why is this a skeptical game? Well, if you saw the Rams defense last week against Bryce Young, you will see why I have a little bit skeptical feel towards this game. This defense sucks. I have said this numerous times. Outside of that front four, this fucking defense sucks. It's not good, bro. Watching the Carolina Panthers damn near beat the fucking Los Angeles Rams. And here's the crazy part: Los Angeles was winning. Like this should have been a blowout. It wasn't like it should have been a fucking blowout, and they just let them come back. Same thing with the Packers. Now, the one thing about the Packers and the Bears game compared to this game was they actually got it done. They actually won the game. But it doesn't change the fact that you gave Bryce Young probably his best game of his entire career. His entire career, you gave Bryce Young his best game in his entire career. Two of his best games in his entire career have come to the Rams, have come against the Rams. Y'all don't think that's weird? Y'all don't see a pattern? Y'all don't think it's weird? Y'all don't see a pattern? I think the Rams secondary is extremely fucking questionable. And the one thing about the Rams that can hurt them in this game is that the Bears run the ball. And the one thing over the last couple of years, if you have seen the Rams play football, particularly in the playoffs, if you can control the running game and run the ball down their throats, and I mean up the middle, like force their defensive tackles to actually have to stop the running game, you can beat the Rams. You can beat the Rams. And the last time the Rams got punched in the mouth in a playoff game, and just punched in the mouth just in general, who was the offensive coordinator? Ben Johnson, Detroit Lions. He's got two running backs that mirror Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery and DeAndre Swift and that rookie. If they can run the ball, and I mean this shit, if they can run the ball and consistently run the ball, it's gonna be easy to take deep shots on this Rams team. The Rams could score on anybody. We know this already. But the one thing I learned in that Rams Panthers game is they have no running game, man. And I've known this for a while, but it's just like they really do put everything on Matthew Stafford. Like it's got to be Matthew Stafford or no one. And that is not how you win a fucking Super Bowl. You're not going to win a Super Bowl like that. I think, like I say all the time, like, bro, y'all have gotten this Patrick Mahomes thing, like, in y'all minds that y'all think anybody can just do that shit. Like, no, I like Matthew Stafford a lot, but I'm not going to lie and say, oh, yeah, Matthew Stafford does. No, man. No, man. No. This is bad. I got a couple days before I have to pick this game. But if you ask me right now who I think can win this game, I think the Bears win this game, man. I think the Bears going to win this game. I truly believe the Bears are going to win this game. It's not because of Caleb Williams. It's going to be because the Rams cannot run the ball consistently. And Matthew Stafford is going to have to force himself to throw more passes than he wants to. And it's going to end up getting picked the fuck off. And he's going to put him in the Rams in fucking unwinnable situations. The one thing about the Bears, though, I will say is this. They are a terrible first half team. They are fucking garbage. When they played us, when they played the Lions a couple weeks ago, this past week against the Packers, they've had one or two maybe here in their games where the first half they actually look decent. But for the most part, the Bears are a terrible first half team. That is why I feel like the Rams are going to have to jump on them early and keep that pressure on. But the problem with that is the Rams can actually fall into the same trap they fell into last week against the Panthers, which is no running game means Matthew Stafford's going to have to throw the ball more. And if Matthew Stafford has to throw the ball more, 9 out of 10, he's probably going to throw a pick because this Bears defense are fucking ball hawks and they want the ball. That's the one thing about Dennis Allen I will say. He gets turnovers, my nigga. He sucks at everything else, but he gets turnovers. He gets turnovers. I give you that. Most interesting game of the week. Broncos versus Bills. Ooh, shit. Tell me this is not a very unmotivating game. Fuck, dude. Why is this an interesting game? Well, I couldn't put it as an upset because I don't think the Broncos are that good of a team. And I don't think the Broncos are that good of a team. And is it an upset if the Broncos lose to the Bills? That's my thing. It's like it's not really an upset if the Broncos lose to the Bills. It's really not. Um, I think the Broncos and the Bills game is only intriguing and only interesting to me for the same reason why I watched last week the Jags and the Bills game. Are the Bills actually going to win? What Bills team is going to show up? Is basically what I'm looking for. Last year, these two teams played, and it was in Buffalo. This year, they're playing, and it's in Denver. Let's see how this is going to play out. Last year, Bo Nix was a rookie on the road in the playoff game for his first time ever. This year, he's at home. Let's see how this is going to play out. If you learn anything about the Bills defense is that they can get scored on. But the problem with the Bills defense is, with the Broncos offense is, they are just like the Bears. They're not good in the first half. They're not. That offense is not good in the first half. You have to be down to then establish what you want to do. It's I don't know I don't know, and I damn sure don't think that the Broncos can keep. I don't say they can't keep the Bills off the scoreboard, but if the Bills can run the ball consistently with James Cook, they're gonna probably win this game. As good as the Broncos defense is, We did just see the Broncos defense give up damn near 40 points to the Jaguars, who, by the way, the Bills just beat. That's reality. Upset game of the week. 49ers versus Seahawks. 2 weeks ago, these two teams played for not just the division, but for the number one spot in the NFC. The 49ers absolutely positively shit the bed. They just, at home, by the way. Seattle's defense is as real is going to be. They are as real can be. Seattle's defense is for real, for real, for real. I think San Francisco can beat Seattle. But you have to have Seattle cost themselves the game. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. I don't trust Sam Darnold for shit. Sam Darnold is not that guy. What San Francisco has done the last couple of weeks, months, without any offense, without any real defense of help, Robert Saleh, I think, is going to get a head coaching job by the end of this motherfucking year. I just feel like Robert Saleh is going to get a head coaching job. I think Robert Saleh is going to get a head coaching job. There's no way around this. He's going to get a head coaching job, especially if they can somehow, some way beat Seattle. With everything that's going on in Seattle, and with a week off, by the way, another week off, by the way, and with another week off, by the way, I don't think that helped Seattle actually. I think it actually helped San Francisco because they actually played last week with actual reasons to, they actually played last week. And that is why I think Seattle's going to lose. I love the Seattle defense. Seattle defense is for real. But this is one of those games where I feel like San Francisco is just going to be a little bit more sharp than they were the last time they played them. And that's just how I feel about that. And my game of the week is the Texans versus the Patriots. I wish this was for. I wish this was actually the game that told me who's going to the Super Bowl. I hate the fact that this is the two teams that are. I absolutely fucking hate the facts that this is the two teams that are playing in a divisional round. I feel like they have earned the right to go to a Super Bowl. Anyway, the Texans last night beat the shit out the Pittsburgh Steelers. And that game was close. I'm not gonna sit up here and act like that game wasn't close. It was close until the fumble. Until Aaron Rodgers got hit, fumbled the ball. Until Aaron Rodgers got hit, fumbled the ball, and it got scooped up by Sheldon Rankins and ran back for a touchdown. And after that, it was over. After that, it was just done. Which is why Mike Tomlin is no longer the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Patriots basically did the same shit to the Chargers. Beat the shit out the Chargers. Both of these teams offensively did not look good in week one. I mean, God almighty. In the first week of the playoffs, the wild card, oh my God, this was terrible. It was terrible games. The offense of Houston, outside of those touchdowns, they didn't do shit. They turned the ball over like 3 times. They really didn't do shit in that game. They turned the ball over three times. And then you had the Patriots, who also had a game where Drake May did not play his best. He did not have a great game in that game. But somehow, some way, the Patriots won because, well, the Chargers just shit the bed. Like they always do in the playoffs. And that's another thing I want people to understand about the Chargers. I have been watching football for 31 years, be 32 Saturday. I have been watching football since I was like 3, 4 years old. So 28, 29 years I've been watching football. The Los Angeles Chargers have been this way since they were the San Diego Chargers. Nigga, it don't matter who's the quarterback. Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, Justin Herbert. It don't matter who's the quarterback. They're going to shit the bed. This is why I don't get excited about the Chargers, ever. I have watched this my whole fucking life. They don't win playoff games. We can now cut that shit the fuck. I've seen the Chargers have great teams. Absolutely spectacular fucking teams. Way better fucking talent. Way better quarterback play. And they've never won a playoff game. Or never won when it mattered most. Justin Herbert, this is basically Justin Herbert, welcome to the Chargers fucking pathway. That's exactly what you are about to be for the next 10 to 15 years. The fifth, sixth best team in the AFC that might have a really good roster, kind of, sort of, maybe, probably. And then you get in the playoffs and then you're going to shit the bed the wild card out of the division. Anyway, the Patriots beat that ass Sunday. I have no clue who. At least with the 49ers, Seahawks, Bills, Broncos, Bears, Rams games, I can kind of feel it. I'm going to tell you, bro. I don't know who's winning this game. I don't know who's going to win. My heart is telling me Texans. My head is telling me Patriots. I don't know who's going to win this game. I don't have a clue. I would say this. Whoever's offensive line can actually just stop the pass rush. Whatever offensive line can stop the pass rush, that's who might win this game. But yeah, I have no clue. This is going to be a great game, though. This is going to be a great game. This should be Sunday Night Football. I don't know if the NFL could swap this shit, but this should be Sunday Night Football. This should be Sunday Night Football, and it's not even close. That was the one in the NFL. Yellow, caution. Orange, panic time. Red, DOA. Let's get into it. Yellow, caution. And that is the Jacksonville Jaguars. They are 13-5. 13-5. At the end of the season, they finished the regular season 13-4, but they are now 13-5 after losing to the Buffalo Bills. What do I think of this situation? I think the Jaguars should have never been in the position they were in. I want people to understand something. The Jaguars had an 8-game winning streak. 8-game winning streak. 8-game winning streak before getting into the playoffs. You want to know who the Jaguars beat in those 8 games? Do you want to know who the Jaguars beat to get into those 8 games? Here are the teams that they beat. Here are the teams that they beat. The Jaguars beat the Broncos. The Broncos and the Chargers. Yes, two teams that ended up in the playoffs. But Broncos, let's be real for a second about the Broncos. The Broncos, and the Chargers, like I said, was there because of circumstance, not actually because they were actually good. Record tells me they were in the playoffs. Reality showed me they probably shouldn't have been. They probably shouldn't have been. But they beat two playoff teams. I give them that. They beat two playoff teams. One of them, they actually had to go to Denver and beat them. And then the other four wins of this 8 game winning streak came to divisional teams and not the Texans. No, no, no. They played the Titans twice, who are picking in the top five. And then they played the Colts twice, who, yes, great start to the season, but by the time they played the Colts season was damn near on a downward spiral. Like Daniel Jones was starting to show that he isn't the guy like always, and started to show that he wasn't the guy like always. And then he got hurt, and then the next time they played the Colts, it was Phillip Rivers. And then and then so that's the 6 wins. So you played two playoff teams, yes, but the next 4 wins you had divisional, and then the next 2 wins you had is against literally two of the top 3 teams in the play in the draft. You beat the Cardinals barely, who's picking third, and the Jets, who is picking second. I asked a question of this, and I said this to my family, my brother Juan, Friday. Who the fuck did the Jaguars beat? Who the fuck did the Jaguars beat? And this is one thing I've been saying about these long ass winning streaks throughout this NFL so far. These winning streaks are fucking long, and that doesn't make you a good team. It just means that you've really played no competition really like that. And that's basically what has happened to the Jaguars. They were just there because of circumstance. You played against absolutely no one. And because you had a better coach in a better situation and a better roster, you won the game. And I'm not surprised that you won the game. But we need to have a different conversation about how we need to talk about these guys. And I think the Jaguars, even though they finished with an 8 game winning streak, when they played against a team that was actually ready and wanted to be where they were, you got what you got. I'm not surprised that the Jags lost to the Bills. I picked the Bills. But at the same time, I don't think the Jags should have been the divisional winners. I think Houston had a way better team. And if the Jaguars, and again, I go to the scheduling makers of this fucking NFL, you scheduled them so early in the season in Jacksonville that when they finally played in Houston, it was just like yeah, I just wish they would have had a different schedule. I think that if they played Houston for week 18 for the division on the line, it would have been like Houston wins this game, and now we can see what really is going to happen. But yeah, Orange Panic Time, and that is the Green Bay Packers. They are 9-8-1. They were 9-7-1, but they lost, so they're 9-8-1 as the season has finished. Um, they pissed away another game to the Bears. Matt LaFleur they're saying that he's working on a contract extension. I don't know how, and that's my problem. I have no idea how. When Matt LaFleur, when Matt LaFleur, how can I say this, man? How can I say this? Green Bay are victims of their own. I can't even say success. They're victims of their own circumstance. They rushed when they traded and got Michael Parsons. We all was like, yeah, that's gonna be a crazy ass thing. Man, they got Michael Parsons. Man, that's gonna be crazy. And then they got Michael Parsons. They brought him in, and then they had a okay start. Not a crazy start, but a decent start. And then he gets injured. The reason why I'm a little hard on the Packers is because people give them credit for fucking nothing. They've done Nothing. They've not gotten to a Super Bowl. They haven't even gotten to an NFC Championship game yet. And yet, people wanted to give the Packers the greatest team on the planet fucking conversation. They still don't have a number one receiver. You drafted a kid number one overall. You drafted a kid, I won't say number one overall, but you drafted a kid in the first round with your first pick in the draft, right? You drafted a kid. Finally, you drafted a receiver. Finally, in the first round, you finally drafted one, and then you barely fucking use him. Like you barely use him the whole year. What the fuck do we expect this team to be? Like I'm to the point now where it's like, yeah, Matt LaFleur is gonna probably keep his job, and that's not his problem. He's gonna keep it. But I'm starting now to realize about this situation, and this is what I'm really starting to realize is that if Detroit gets a good offensive coordinator and they can fix that offensive line, and they're gonna get some more pass rush to help Aiden Hutchinson, the Bears got something. You are now the third best team in the NFC North. And God forbid if JJ McCarthy is actually good next year, you will fall to the fourth best team in the NFC North. That is crazy. That you went from having all of this expectations of possibly winning a Super Bowl to being the seventh seed in the NFC and then ending up being probably the fourth best team in the NFC North. That's ridiculous. That's fucking ridiculous. But nobody's this bad because Red is old DOA, and that bring your ass down here, Philly. Philadelphia Eagles, man, oh man, 11-7 technically. That's their record at the end of the season. After everything, they fired their offensive coordinator. Great, awesome. I'm happy for you. But there's a bigger problem at hand. That problem is that Nick Sirianni thinks that everything's about him. This is the second time now where you guys have gotten to a Super Bowl and lost in the fucking wild card round. And the problem of and every time you lose and every time you have a bad season, the question becomes, is it the quarterback's fault? Let me explain this to y'all. No. Jalen Hurts is not the fucking reason for why the Eagles had the season they had. That offense, for the second time now with this situation, has shown you that their offense is just bad. Their offense is bad. And I'm to the point now where I'm sitting here thinking to myself, man, look here. Man, look here. And I want people to understand this. Next year, if Philly gets to a goddamn Super Bowl again, or at least make some noise next year, because they got a better offensive coordinator, I want everybody to apologize to Jalen Hurts. Every single fucking one of you. Because y'all sitting up here acting like Jalen Hurts is such this bad fucking quarterback. Well, last year, I saw him. My eyes saw Jalen Hurts beat the shit out of teams. Literally throwing passes 30, 50 yards down the field. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. I saw it. And now you're sitting there trying to tell me he can't do that shit no more? What? You telling me Saquon Barkley, who was a 2,000-yard running back last year, just forgot how to run a fucking football? Get the fuck out of here. Oh, good God. Nick Sirianni, bro, I feel like this is your last year really to do this shit because next time you get a good offensive coordinator, I don't give a fuck what they offering him to be a head coach. You need to stay. You 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 need to stay. Anyway, that's the end. That is my episode for this week. So you guys next week. Peace.